Welcome to the world of darkness, and it is just that, dark. This solo roleplay playthrough will hit on themes and topics that some may find triggering. This is a warning. Also, this is my world of darkness, with some major lore differences. Not all things are as they appear for you of our congregation that are more versed in the deep lore. So please enjoy this storytelling. The 2nd of October 2020. Today was the first day of my own life. I was taken from work, snatched up unceremoniously. Whether I was knocked out there and turned or taken somewhere else first, I don't know. It doesn't matter. When I awoke a vampire. My life now forever changed. I awoke in a shipping container. It smells old, maybe rust. The echoes of my voice reverberate around the inside of the container. I heard a voice of what sounded like a teenager. She called my name. I called out for hers. She says her name is Dana. She comes in and says that she's sorry for my loss. Dana is pale-skinned and has black hair. She looks to be like in her late teens. Her voice is shaky and unsure. However, she seems genuine. I ask, what loss? She says, my life. I don't understand. She says I am now a vampire. I'm utterly shocked. But as I sit in this empty shipping container, I can feel it, the power. The sounds and smells of the world heightened. Then I realized the voice, or more like the lack of it, the incessant shadow replaced with an animal of hunger and rage. Dana speaks up and says that when I awake, that Cassandra wants to see me. I ask who that is, and she says it is our sire. 7:20 p.m. Dana takes me inside the butterfly house. I see it. Time seems to slow. Butterflies dance and flutter among the trees and tall flowers. In the lights I see the patterns of the universe. They warp and twist around me like a great web. I always knew they were there. They align in a second. They stretch and ripple out like waves connecting me to Cassandra. I can feel Cassandra. Something connects us in the dancing butterflies. I can feel her happiness and enjoyment at finding me and turning me, but also sadness for me, that she has forced me to abandon my life, my friends, my family, but something raced to the top of my mind, an intrinsic knowing that whatever group these two vampires are a part of need me. A thread leads me in a direction unseen. We walk past flowers and feeding stations until I see Cassandra sitting, head in her hands. As she raises her head, tears of thick blood run down her dark skin of her cheeks. Without second thought, I run and I hug her. I feel her emotions as they rampage around her mind, happiness and guilt feeding into each other, chasing each other like two dogs chasing each other's tails. As we embrace, she asks through sputtered tears for help. I will it. My blood answers. It connects us. My calm and warmth fills her. She takes deep, shaky breaths. I look at Dana. Blood tears stream down her pale face also. I open up an arm and we all embrace for some time. 7:20 p.m. After some time, Cassandra asks me how I knew. I tell her that somehow I saw a pattern in the butterflies. she and Dana share glances. They say they must take me to see a man named Messiak and a woman called Amanda. They both seem excited. I ask, is this the group that needed me? Again, the excitement between the two of them grows. They speak quickly about things I don't know the meaning of. I stop them, saying, the more information I have, the more of the pattern I can see. Cassandra and Dana proceed over the next 10 hours to feed me information about my new life. I try to take in as much as possible. They tell me that what it's like to be a vampire or kindred, and what that entails. I can no longer walk in the sun, and that I will need to drink blood. I ask if all the myths about vampires are true, and they say that some are and some aren't. Garlic and running water are not true. Some holy symbols do and some don't. And steaks only put you to sleep, or torpor. I'm taught about the 13 major clans, and that there are many more, but they only tell me about the main ones for now. The Assamites are apparently a very insular clan and tend to be hired killers. The Bruja, hotheads quick to anger and rebellious by nature. The Setites, peddlers of vice offering deals, not good people. The Gangrel, closest to the beast. Many don't like cities, but most are nice. Their beast is close to the surface, making them more aware of the monsters that they are. The Giovanni, ghost whisperers and necromancers, more family than clan. I always had a feeling ghosts are real. I wonder what other creatures and myths of legend exist. The La Sombra, they see themselves as dark nobility, shadow dancers, lovers of power by any means necessary. Malkavian, the clan the three of us are, damned again by insanity, but I don't feel this way. But I can feel it through the web, a connection all Malkavians share. They both say the web feels a little different now that I'm embraced. The Nosferatu, monsters on the outside, lonely outcasts on the inside, watchers and secret peddlers. Ravnos, nomadic vampires, never staying in one place too long. Ravnos tend to lie more than most. Toreador, roses of the night, beautiful flowers with sharp thorns. Tremere, blood wizards in a world of vampires. I can see why they're not trusted. Zmishi, more monstrous than all of the others. Dana and Cassandra don't want to tell me much about them. Ventru, the clan of kings, pompous and pretentious, only concerned with status, money, and blood. The views of the clans are biased by Dana and Cassandra's experiences, but there is much truth in what they say. I can feel it. Next, they tell me about the sects. Dana and Cassandra say they are part of a sect called the Inconnu. They say that they stay out of normal kindred society, for it is a bloody, dangerous affair. All Inconnu strive to do good in the world. The Camarilla consider themselves the be-all and end-all of kindred government. It is full of elaborate plots and interpersonal politics. The Anarch movement. Cassandra says they are just like the Camarilla, just without a head of state and less formal. The Ministry, a sect of corruption. Not as nice as the others, but very similar, just full of vice and hedonism. The Sabbat. Cassandra says they are baby eaters, worst of the worst. Next, they tell me about the Masquerade and its traditions. The first tradition, the Masquerade. Thou shalt not reveal thy true nature to those not of the blood. Doing so shall renounce thy claims of it. I think this makes sense. The second tradition, the Domain. Thy domain is thy own concern. All others owe thee respect whilst in it. None may challenge thy word whilst in thy domain. Third tradition, the progeny. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. The fourth tradition, the encounters. Those that create their own children, until thine progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. The fifth tradition, hospitality. Honour one another's domain. When thou comest to a foreign city, thou shalt present thyself to the one who ruleth there. Without the word of acceptance, thou art nothing. Tradition 6. Destruction. Thou art forbidden to destroy another of thy kind. The right of destruction belongeth to thine elder. Only the eldest among thee shall call the blood hunt. Next they bring up something that their sect has been working towards for some time, a mythical state of Golconda. Something aligns in my mind. I'm thrown to a memory earlier in life. I had been doing some research on occult books when I was mortal. I had found online a PDF of a book called the Book of Nod. At the time I thought it was a bit of Bible fan fiction, but in that moment a quote I had not memorized, that I'd only read in that book once a couple of years ago, raced to the front of my mind and out of my mouth. A road of mercy, and you shall call this road Golconda. The look on Dana and Cassandra's face I will never forget. They asked me how I knew, and I told them what I had already written here. Then they tell me the state of London. Most of the kindred in London have been hunted and killed over the last 8 years, going from approximately 300 plus to 40. Although Dana and Cassandra don't know the details, the kindred were killed mostly by Second Inquisition hunters of supernatural creatures. The only kindred that still live are the very old and the very young, or the ones like Dana and Cassandra that don't partake in politics. We talk all night. Cassandra gives me the shipping container as my haven. At the moment there is only a bed in there, but I am grateful for it. Many things crawl around my mind, but I feel all will be revealed in time. The new beast that hungers and rages at my core is a mindless creature compared to the sly, depressing shadow I had before. The 3rd of October, 2020. Sunset, 6:33 p.m. I awoke. The hunger grows. I feel the beast push more to the front of my mind with hunger. Dana comes to collect me from my haven. She seems happy. She said that I will be her responsibility for the night. She asks if I have any plans. I tell her that I've been thinking, and as a person, I don't particularly want to drink human blood. She says that she had trouble with it at first, and a kindred can drink animal blood. I tell her how I have an idea, but how does she get stuff done in the day? She says they have retainers. Between Dana and Cassandra, they have 5 people that run the museum and some other people on salary. I tell her that as a child, I had some pet rats. She said that she had rats as a child too. I said I would like to breed them for food, as well as add snakes to the museum to dispose of the rat corpses. I would also like to paint and sell the art. She said it's a good idea, but we must run it past Cassandra. She won't be here tonight, as she's at a gathering of kindred. Dana gives me a tour of the museum and the butterfly house, with indoor and outdoor gardens, a large collections of objects that Cassandra has gathered on her travels, an impressive collection of taxidermied animals and framed butterflies. They also hold lots of events all year round. This place is lovely and well kept. I asked Dana if she has anything for me today. With a smile, she says that today we will present me to the rest of the members of the sect. I ask how many kindred are in the sect, and she says there are 7, including me, her, and Cassandra, and that we'll be leaving soon. I spend some time in the butterfly house, taking in the dancing butterflies as they flutter in and out of the lights. I stare, trying to reproduce what I had done the other day, but I leave it open, searching for patterns in it all. Fluttering by, a butterfly slow to a crawl, a dancing pair flutter up in a swelling motion up to a spotlight. The pattern aligns, and I know before it happens, another butterfly comes in, fluttering and joining the dance. The pattern in synchronicity brings to the front of my mind what the gathering today is for. They will ask me to infiltrate another sect. From what Dana and Cassandra have already told me, it is probably not for malicious intent, but probably a defensive one, to keep their sect safe. I can already tell that those two will be worried, if that is the case. I don't know how long I was staring at the butterflies, only Dana calling me breaks my attention. 7:30 p.m. Dana leads me to the front of the museum. A black cab awaits for us. After some time staring out the window, it feels like we've been travelling for what feels like hours. I look around. I see Dana frozen in place, unmoving. I ask the driver what is going on. He said, "You have already figured out where you want to be taken." With his deep voice and looking into his dark sunglasses in the rearview mirror, the beast inside retreats, making itself small, retreating deep inside. A dread feeling or deja vu washes over me. Without thinking, I say, "I have no choice, but I have chosen the path anyway." He only replies with a simple yes. Again, the pattern in my mind aligns once more, and the words slip out. It is so very obvious where we're headed. "I am the path, the truth, and the life," he replies. "No one comes to the Father except through me." I fully understand. A calm comes over me. The dread I feel, the retreating of the beast, and the individual in front of me connects. I realize my purpose and my suffering. I reply fully aware, "A path of mercy, and you shall call this path Golconda." 7:50 p.m. We pull up to an underground nightclub called Basement. We thank the driver and head inside. We go down into the club, and Dana leads me to the VIP section in the back. We are down into a small room at the opposite end. There are 2 people sitting in large, ornate chairs. A man with bronze skin and strange-looking ornate jewelry, and a pale woman with dark brown hair. Looking around the room, I see Cassandra talking to 3 others. A red-haired female with long hair in her mid-20s, a young boy about 16 years old, and a lady in her late 20s with golden hair. Cassandra comes over and greets us. Everyone looks at us. Cassandra turns and introduces me. The pale woman gets up from her seat and marches across the room. She is about a foot less in height, and when she speaks she sounds American. "You are the one they've been talking about." There is something about this woman. It feels like her beast is close to the surface. Like one missed word could spell doom for me. I feel it deep inside, a reluctance. I extend my hand and I tell her my name. She takes my hand quickly and I make sure to give her a firm handshake. It hurts back more than I expected. I try not to show it on my face. We let go. She nods in what seems like approval. Next, the young boy runs over with an outstretched hand. I shake his as well. As we do, he says, Dana and Cassandra have been talking about you for months, and introduces himself as Jamie. He goes on saying, the first woman is called Amanda, and she is a kindred of action, not words, in a mocking tone. Amanda growls at him, as the lady with the red hair gives a quick wave and says her name is Tegan, and the blonde-haired woman is next, and she says her name is Isabel, and that she has been friends with Dana for decades. She's been friends with Cassandra for decades. Her eyes go cloudy as she says, "Let me." A few seconds pass before tears of blood flow from her eyes. She covers her mouth with her hands. The others look at her. Amanda spins me around. Her eyes cloud over as well. Out loud she says, "He looks human." Gasps come from them all. The bronze man stands and comes over, hands behind his back. Slightly leaning in, he says, "Look into my eyes." I do. A glint flashes across them like glass catching light. Even a surprised look across his face. He qualifies, he says. More gasps and choked tears come from the others. He raises a hand. But this is his second day of his on life. If he remains at least at this level for 5 years, I will do it. A wide toothy smile crosses his face. The others either cry or cheer with joy. Amanda's jaw drops. I have no clue what's going on. The rest of the evening is spent getting to know each of the sect members. Messiac suggests that I join in with Camarilla business as a test. Cassandra is against it, but is convinced. Amanda pulls me to one side. She tells me that she is the self-proclaimed protector of the sect, and to feed her any information on Camarilla movements against the sect. I agree. She also says not to mention Messiac, as he is not kindred, and may cause other kindred to go full scorched earth. She also tells me she is the most powerful kindred in London. I tell her she is not. She is stunned. I tell her not to worry. The cab driver is on our side. She shakes her head, but I see something align in her. An outside force adjusts it, but she just brushes it off as Malkavian madness and pushes no further. 6 a.m. We return to the museum. Dana and Cassandra are happy with how the night went. In a few days they will introduce me to the Camarilla. Dana brings up my plans I had talked about earlier and runs them past Cassandra. She says yes, we will work on it tomorrow. I lay in my empty haven with this diary, thinking about things over the last couple of days. I feel strange, but still myself. I have a heightened awareness around me, even of things I should not know. But I am still the same person. With these heightened senses, more synchronicities seem to happen, and they are processed faster and clearer. The 4th of October 2020, 6:30 p.m. I meet up with Dana and Cassandra in the Butterfly House. They ask me how I'm doing. I tell them I'm doing fine, and although there are some aspects of my life I will miss, there are others that I'm happy to see go. They ask for some examples. I say things like sweating, getting sick or out of breath. They say they don't like those either. I say I want to pay my own way eventually, but I'll need to start somewhere. Cassandra says to write a list of things that I will need, and that her retainers will get them in a day. I thank her. Dana and Cassandra tell me that the others loved me and are happy. I said I was happy to meet them. Cassandra goes on to say everyone was surprised that I could use such a higher level discipline so quickly. I say I don't understand. They say that being a kindred gives some powers, and seeing the patterns is one of them. I tell them I could kind of see them when I was mortal, but it was more of a guess, more intuitive. instead of reading them like it is now. They're both surprised. I asked if they have any paints maybe that I could show them. Dana says she has a set of old oil paints. 2 a.m. I think back to the first night of my own life, to the first moments of stepping into the butterfly house and the dancing butterflies. The moment I felt Cassandra twisting, chasing emotions, and that this is what I paint. 2 butterflies chasing in spotlight, one blue and sad, one red and happy and joyful, feeding and growing each other. I paint it in a dramatic, realistic style. Dana and Cassandra come in at different points to check up on me. I love painting, always have, but now as a kindred my vision is sharper, my hands more dexterous. My mind paints subtle patterns in texture, tone and light. When it is finished, Dana and Cassandra weep just like the first night. They see it, the pattern in the painting. Even Cassandra's retainers cry at sight. I write a list of things I need. 2 rats, 1 male, 1 female, 1 cage, bedding, food, toys, oil paints, 9 1-foot by 1-foot MDF boards. 2:30 a.m. Cassandra comes to see me. She wishes to buy the painting. She offers £7,000, not only because of the painting, but also to give me a start in my own life. I accept and give her a cuddle. 3 a.m. I sit in the butterfly house, looking at the butterflies, searching for a pattern to the fate of when this meeting will take place. As I look around the butterfly house, there are no butterflies. I search for a little, coming across a feeding station in the back. 11 butterflies sit, sipping on pieces of cut fruit. The pattern connects again, but this time it's different. I feel like I have some power of change over it, like the connection is loose. I can pull it taut. I pick up one of the butterflies and look at the colour and pattern of its wings. It flaps gently on my finger. A strand of what seems to be silk dangles from this butterfly to the others. It glints, catching the light. I pull it. The line goes taut. I pause, not wanting to break the line. 4 a.m. Dana comes in, calling my name. She pulls my focus. The butterfly on my finger takes off. She says we need to talk. I sit with her and listen as she speaks. She talks about a reoccurring problem she has. Over the next 10 minutes, she talks and I listen. She's logically critical of herself. I can see the pain eating at her. She is sorry for my embrace, that I had no choice, and that seeing the painting earlier really made her think. I tell that I forgive her and Cassandra, and now that I am what I am, I would have it no other way. My words seem to reassure her for now, but I feel she will come back again, just like Cassandra. The bane of our shared blood, I think, makes us Malkavians rely on each other more than some of the other clans. For who can know how a madman feels except another madman, especially with this network that connects us. I myself have noticed things I see out of the corner of my eyes, the dark shapes, watching faces. The whispers in the dark have only heightened since my embrace. I won't pretend that I'm not scared. I feel that the beast inside me demands blood, and I will have to give in at some point. I am unsure what to do. The idea of feeding on a person does not sit right with me. Maybe tomorrow I'll ask Dana and Cassandra. The 5th of October 2020, 6:30 p.m. My shopping is brought to my haven when I wake. I set up the rats in my container. The male I call Adam and the female I call Eve. They seem happy. I set up the water, food and leave him to it. 7:30 p.m. I take the new painting equipment to the butterfly house and set up. I look at the butterflies flutter and dance. The worry on my first feeding pops into my head. The butterflies struggle to fly in the spotlight. Time slows and the pattern aligns, and I know another comes before it shows. A second butterfly comes in, almost chasing it, the first struggling, and both drop for a second and spin and move off into the darkness together. 11 p.m. I do not remember when I started painting, but Cassandra's voice pulls me from it, from my mindlessness. She asked if I've got everything I need. I tell her I did. She asks if I galled the rats. I say I don't know what that is. She takes some time to explain that if I feed my blood to a mortal, they stop aging and may gain some of my powers, and that it works on animals too. I thank her and tell her about my aspiration, my apprehension about feeding. She listens to me intently. She's very compassionate and reassuring and gives me some ideas. Until my rat breeding gets up and running, she suggests hunting in a nearby park for some animals, or trying to make contact with someone that can provide animal blood, but both have their risks. I thank her for her advice, but I was hoping for more. I'm new to this. I'm a baby feeding for the first time. 12 p.m. Frustrated, I go around the gardens of the museum to see if I can spot any wildlife. Around the side of the museum I find a rat, and I'm able to grab it, and after some reluctance drain it. The blood tastes and feels good, but it's not enough to make a dent in my hunger. 3 p.m. After some hours I give up somewhat with my hunting. I go back to the butterfly house to finish my painting. My focus from earlier is broken and frustration is at the front of my mind. The 6th of October 2020, 6:27 p.m. I awake, check Adam and Eve, they're fine. I miss sleep. The rest that comes with it. Now it's like blinking, no rest, no reset of the mind, no feeling fresh with a new day. Feelings, emotions carry over just as intense from the night before. I leave a new list and money for Cassandra's retainers to pick up more cages over the day. I need to get the breeding program up and running. Tonight I will try something different. I go to the butterfly house. Instead of trying to find the pattern in something specific, I open myself up to what the pattern wants to show me. But I sit in the butterfly house. There are no butterflies around. The space feels empty, quiet. This time, there is no warning, no prediction of pattern. A swarm of pattern and colour and flapping surrounds me. In the swarm I see a line of silk, glittering and catching the light. An idea sweeps into my mind. Instead of tightening this loose thread like last time, I find the attached points, with many threads running out like the spokes of a wheel, off to unseen places, all coming to 2 points that the original thread runs between. I gently pinch and tug those nodes of threads and pull them together. At first it's swift, but the closer they get, the more they resist, like repelled magnets. But I force them together, the frustration fueling me from the previous night. And there I stand. I blink. I'm no longer in the butterfly house. In front of me is a brick wall. A brick has been slipped out and is in my right hand, and in my left hand is a hairpin, shiny, straight, and a plastic sun with a smile at the wider end. I'm confused. Where am I? How did I get here? 7:30 p.m. After some time of wandering, I find out that I'm not far from the museum. It takes me about an hour to get back. I feel like the hairpin is important, but also not important in a strange way. I hide it in my haven for now. 8:30 p.m. Before I enter the museum, I have a thought that it might be easier to find rats in the sewers or underground, as the beast still reminds me of my hunger. 9:30 p.m. I spend 30 minutes looking for an entrance, and I find one within the museum's grounds. The sewer is what I expect, wet and smelly. As I hunt my prey, even through the sewers, my heightened senses can pick them up. They're abundant around here. Within 15 minutes, I've found and drained 3 rats. 9:15 p.m. After my little excursion, I feel better. I set my paints up in the butterfly house to begin. I paint a field of butterflies with a single bright thread running vertically down the center. Not my best, but still good. 5 a.m. Isabel and Jamie stop by, and we all talk. Dana and Cassandra are there also. We celebrate. I tell no one of my excursion earlier in the evening, and just spend pleasurable time together. 7th of October 2020, 7 p.m. I check Adam and Eve. They are going well. They seem to enjoy the enclosure I got for them. I also take some time to set up the other enclosures I got from Cassandra's ghouls to purchase for me. I make my way out to the museum and set up for my day, making my way to the butterfly house. I sit among the butterflies and watch. I like it here. It's calm and peaceful. The world, however dark it may be, seems distant here. I can relax. I watch 2 butterflies dance. One clings to the other and then moves away, and the further it goes, the more its rhythm and beats falters. It comes back to the first that is fine in its place. They dance again. The second, becoming sure and brave again, moves away. This repeats many more times. I see clearly what the pattern relates, and before she calls my name, I call hers. Cassandra stands a distance away, frozen as she watches me stare into space. It's okay, I tell her. I too, at the time, thought she had not helped me enough, like a baby that cannot eat for itself and was just told where the fridge is. I say that it was necessary for both our growths, as the unlives we have now are not easy. I look at her, tears of blood streaming down her face. I stand and hug her. Under tearful chokes, she said that she wishes she had a relationship like this with her sire. 8 p.m. I retrieve my painting equipment from my haven and return to the butterfly house. Dana and Cassandra are there to meet me. They said they will be in Elysium in about a week's time. All kindred are expected to show and present themselves. Most of the time the kindred of the Inconnu do not attend, but Dana and Cassandra, Isabel and Jamie want to support me. They say it's on the 12th at midnight at a gentleman's club owned by the seneschal. I ask what is expected of me. They say I must be on my best behaviour, but I have not acted in any way that would give them concern yet. As far as they know, the amount of kindred in London is low, that the other sects have merged for mutual protection under the guise of ridding the hunter threat. But it's slow going, and the only kindred alive in London are either very old or very young, or ones that don't partake in politics like them. They say the leaders of each sect are in hiding, and have voted for a seneschal to be their mouthpiece, a grim man by the name of Henry Whitfield, a venturer of old blood. We talk for an hour, and they tell me I will be presented along with any new kindred into the city, as well as any updates. 9 p.m. I paint a butterfly moving up towards a spotlight, and another following around, but also moving up with the ghostly after images. 5 a.m. I want to keep this hunger under control. It grows every night. I go back to the sewers and hunt for more rats. 6 a.m. I head to my haven and wait for Torpor to take me. 8th of October 2020, 7 PM. I clean out Adam and Eve's cage and replace their food and water, and then, like most of my nights, move my painting equipment into the butterfly house. When I get there, Dana is already sitting on the bench beneath the tree. Her head in her hands, she tells me that she feels guilty sometimes when she feeds, and it feels like she's sucking the very soul out of the person, and it makes her depressed and hateful of herself. I see a welling up of tears in the corner of her eyes. We talk for a little while about it, and I listen to her. I have no idea whether or not we take the souls of those we drink from. It's down to us how we treat the relationship between kindred and mortals. We must not forget them and treat them well. The fact is that if it upsets her, it's a good sign. It means she cares, and at that we hug. She does not cry, although I will not say she's happy. Her mood seems to improve. She leaves me to my painting in the butterfly house. 8 PM. I settle down to my nightly routine, just painting butterflies dancing and fluttering. No meaning or inspiration of my own life seeping in like the others before. Just a single butterfly that takes up most of the painting, capturing its majesty and beauty. 4 AM. After I paint, I head to the sewers to keep my hunger at bay. 6 AM. I return to my haven with my hunger no worse than the previous day, but tonight I have a new friend, a wild rat that I found. I set up a cage. He's male. Hopefully I can keep this one till I can breed enough. The 9th of October 2020, 7 PM. I awake, check the rats, and make my way to the butterfly house. I sit and open up to the whole pattern like I have before. I see what the pattern has for me. I have faith that it will put me where I'm needed. As I focus, I catch the fluttering out of the corner of my eye. The world slows and darkens as my vision is drawn in close to the web. The butterfly of black and white flaps and struggles in the middle of the web. All of the spokes draw into a central node underneath it. A spider, out of the darkness, huge in size, its front legs and face start to cover the butterfly in silk, but the butterfly calms. It springs up to its side, its pattern on its wings of an eye. The white spiral into its black pupil. The spider stops in its tracks and comes closer. The spider, struck by awe, seems to get smaller and climbs over the butterfly, removing the web that is covered in it. But unable to set it free, it stares for what feels like eternity. 11 PM. My name is called. I look down. I now stand on the bench under the tree. I look back to the web, and there it still remains. I remove the black and white butterfly from the web and bring it down to Dana and Cassandra. Cassandra tells me it is a marble white, a common butterfly in South England. It flies mostly in July. It's October. This one is very late. I tell them that my birthday is in late July. They look at each other and Cassandra looks back at the butterfly. She says that this one has a rare pattern. Normally on the underside of the wings, they have multiple black spots in a marble-like pattern. This one just has one large shaped eye pattern. I look at the butterfly. Its wings no longer have the black and white swirl. I thank her for her knowledge. They say they have come to talk to me, and that they ask if I've decided if I want to do anything with my life. I say I'm unsure. There is a lot of choice. I say I want to work towards Golconda, that I note as a long-term goal, as I know it won't be easy. They seem happy with my response. They say that the only thing kindred have is time. 12 p.m. I start work on a new painting. 4 a.m. Many things swirl around my head, and I'm unable to capture my vision in a satisfying way. After 4 hours of work and a little frustration, I put my paints down and I'll finish it another day. I decide it may be in my best interest, when moving around London, that I do not show my face. It has been a week since my embrace, and my mother is definitely reportedly missing, and London has the highest amount of cameras in the world, so I will try to find a way from the museum to Amanda's club. I know what direction and how long generally the journey should be, about an hour on foot. Surprisingly, there is almost a direct line. Maybe both places were built at the same time, so the sewers let me travel more as the crow flies than turning down streets. Cutting some 25 minutes off my journey. Whilst on my way, I hunt for some more rats. I get back to the museum, drink the rat I collected yesterday, and settle in for day. The 10th of October 2020, 7 a.m. I arise now, a kindred of over a week old. In this new life, I feel like I have taken to it quite well, and that makes me reflect. I was not doing much with my mortal life, working in a warehouse, living paycheck to paycheck. I had dreams, things I wanted to do, but now I feel like I have more of a purpose. So many things I only vaguely knew had a fog lifted off of them, like some shroud keeping me from truly knowing. 8 p.m. I moved to the butterfly house with my painting equipment, setting up my equipment and deliberating my inspiration for tonight's painting. Jamie comes in with Cassandra to see me. He says that Cassandra has shown him the painting that she bought from me. He was moved. All of a sudden, he seems to be more sullen, and the youthful energy he carries with himself slips. He says in his travels he has made an arrangement with an old nodist scholar named Beckett. As part of charity, he showed him that if Jamie should find someone that he thinks may actually achieve Golconda, to introduce him. I say that this is okay, as long as Cassandra is okay with it. Cassandra says that she's heard of him and has never met him, but as far as Jamie and Amanda have talked about him, he stays out of kindred politics, and from the sound of it, the talk that we will have will help us both. Jamie says Beckett is a wanderer, and it may be some time before he comes around again. Jamie thanks us both for the time and leaves. 10 p.m. I sit in the butterfly house. My paint's ready and nothing. I sit back and relax. I allow time to pass me by, thinking about the priorities of my previous life. Something of my mind wanders to the hairpin I found a couple of nights ago. Some connection, a niggle in the back of my brain. I go and fetch it from my haven and return to the butterfly house. I sit in my usual seat and look it over. I flip the hairpin in my hand. A simple metal with a yellow sun at the wider end. And the world slows and darkens. A thread of silk can be seen climbing directly up. I follow it with my eyes. Above me in the darkness sits, just like my other visions, a massive spider reeling in the silk. I retreat from this vision, flustered and breathing heavy from reflex. I start to paint what I saw. 3 a.m. I feverishly paint, trying to impose a flustered dread and panicking fluttering I felt in my vision, but about halfway through I stop. The hunger of the beast reminds me I must find blood. 4 a.m. I'm finding hunting becoming easier. As long as the rats don't hear me, I can walk straight up to them. Even if they couldn't see me normally, I'm able to catch 4 rats in about an hour. With only a couple of hours left in the night, I decide to see what Dana and Cassandra are up to. First, I find one of Dana's retainers, and they seem to not notice me, just like the rats. A thought of a prank sticks in my mind, or more like boils in my blood. I follow him. He leads me to her room. He knocks on the door. She tells him to enter. Her room is messy, strewn with papers and artifacts, books and scrolls. As her retainer gives her something, she thanks him and tells him to leave. He does quickly. She quickly looks at whatever she was given, and sighs, and holds it close to her chest, then opens a small cupboard on the opposite side of the room. In there is a shrine, a photo of Messiac. She opens it, saying, "Sorry, Messiac." She openly muses that there is now competition for her heart, that I might steal it. I leave the room quickly. Walking the museum, I look for Cassandra, and after some time I find her in the manager's office talking with one of her people that work here, one of her retainers. She seems bored and distracted with the conversation. After listening to the conversation, apparently some property management firm wants to buy the museum and has started getting a little aggressive, sending people in the day. Cassandra says she would never sell, and she can get away with working nights. No kind need know. All night workers are retainers. After some time the retainer leaves, leaving Cassandra by herself. She lays back and sighs. I move behind her chair. She is looking at the ceiling. I move my face over hers and boom! I scare her so good. She jumps out of her chair and falls onto the floor. At first she is playfully angry, and then she is surprised that I have that ability. She says it's very impressive for a kindred of my age to use such discipline so quickly. She's impressed. I say my goodnights and head to my haven. 11th of October 2020, 7 a.m. I wake and sort out my rats, cleaning and feeding them. Tomorrow is the Elysium. Dana and Cassandra have told me what to expect, but I'm still a little nervous about being introduced to the rest of the kindred in London. Vampires are predators by nature. I can feel the beast inside from what Dana and Cassandra have said, that politics has a lot to do with kindred culture, that kindred will try to use me, a new lick, to their advantage. I must stay vigilant. Let's start with hunting tonight. 8 a.m. I don't know if the rats are starting to get wiser or if I'm just having a bad day. 10:30 p.m. Travelling back to the museum after some time hunting rats, I'm able to stop myself from getting more hungry, but still it persists. I set up my painting equipment in the butterfly house and set about finishing yesterday's painting. 12 p.m. Dana and Cassandra interrupt my painting to show me a newspaper of my face. Just a small section saying I'm a missing person, that I went missing from my job on the 2nd. Cassandra suggests that I don't go out in public anymore. I say that I don't, and I thought this may happen and have been using the sewers, and I already know how to get to Amanda's club. They seem happy about that, and leave me to my painting. 2:30 a.m. I finish painting, and as I look at it, I feel the dread and panic from my vision. I put it away. I find Cassandra and ask her if there's any kindred that I should be worried about at the Elysium. She tells me that other than Sabat there, the three that jump to her mind are a man by the name of Quillen Cox. He is Tegan's sire, a Toreador with very possessive tendencies. Apparently the only thing stopping him from kidnapping Tegan is Amanda, and the rule about non-Inconnu kindred being banned from South London. Second, a woman named Juniper, a La Sombra that never aligned herself with the Sabat, but to join the Camarilla she had to make a lot of deals, and when everything went down, everyone she owed also disappeared. And lastly, an elder kindred by the name of Delilah. And now Hecata, but if she had her way the clan would still be called Giovanni. She has a lot of kind connections. She says that it goes without saying that the seneschal and the sheriff are to be worried about. They are floated to the top in this situation. The seneschal is Harry Whitfield, a venturer that has his hands in a lot of low places, and the only one all three leaders of the sects could agree on being the seneschal. And the sheriff, a Bruja Methuselah that came to England in 1066, and was the Viking berserker on Stamford Bridge. He's normally not one for politics, but was somehow convinced to help till the situation in London has stabilised. We talk for over an hour before Cassandra is dragged away. 3:30 p.m. I go to the butterfly house and sit cross-legged on the bench under the tree in the centre. I reflect on what I've learned today. I watch the butterflies dance and flutter and perch on fruits. I sit still, unmoving, the only way an undead creature might. Intentionally, I think about the things I have learned. Although I'm nervous about tomorrow, there is an excitement that flutters in me. As I open my eyes, I see upon my nose a butterfly has landed on it. It looks into my eyes, then another lands on my hand, and then another on my knee, and then another on my shoulder. I feel like a new calm crept over the horizon. I stay like this. The other butterflies come close but don't land. I stay here for some time. 7 a.m. Sunrise approaches. I retreat to my haven. 12th of October 2020. I sit in my haven, my ship and container with my rats. I play with them a little. I think Eve might be pregnant, but I will make sure that she gets everything she needs. 7 p.m. I get ready for the Elysium and make my way to the butterfly house. I take it in and wait for the time to go to Elysium. Thank you to all that have watched this episode. Please like and subscribe, and do have a pleasant evening.